I'm going to take just a couple more minutes of your time before we introduce the governor to introduce Representative Adam Hasner. Adam Hasner was first elected in 2002 to serve the coastal communities of Broward and Palm Beach counties in the Florida House of Representatives in 2007, and he was selected as Marco Rubio's majority leader, a position he held until being term limited from office in 2010. As a supporter of common sense reforms to reduce government spending and balance Florida's budget, Adam led by example in spearheading the effort to cut the pay for himself and all Florida lawmakers. He was an early advocate for the 65% solution to increase classroom funding while reducing administrative overhead and wasteful bureaucratic spending. And in 2010, well before the issue made national headlines, Adam sponsored legislation calling on Congress to pass a balanced budget amendment to the United States Constitution and formed a national organization to demand fiscal accountability in Washington. Adam is also an unwavering advocate in support of a strong U.S.-Israel relationship and is committed to an American national security platform based on peace through strength. He has warned about the threats posed by radical Islam, and in 2007 sponsored the Protecting Florida's Investments Act, making Florida the first state in the nation to mandate pension fund divestment from companies that do business with Iran. He is now running for the new Congressional District 22 and has been endorsed by this PAC, former Governor Jeb Bush, House Majority Leader Eric Cantor, and Congressman Allen West, amongst others. So with no further ado, I'd like to introduce Adam Hasner.
Well, good evening, and it is so great to be with you all. And Dr. Kawa, let me just say how proud I am of all the work that you're doing and coming onto the scene and really making such an impact in such a short period of time and being able to bring this many people together, not just on this occasion, but on so many other occasions. And I think that you really represent the type of people that we need who recognize that our country is facing a very difficult crossroads. And so I applaud you and I commend you for all of the work that you have already begun to do, and more importantly, for all the things you're going to do between now and Election Day in November.
Thank you.
I know we're all very excited about having Governor Pawlenty here this evening with us and to talk about the perils of Obamacare and the things that we need to do in order to repeal and replace Obamacare. And as I began to think of just what a quick message would be to share with you, I think the most important thing is to recognize that regardless of whether you are a conservative Republican or whether you are a Democrat or whether you're somewhere in between, regardless of your political affiliation, we all have something in common. And that's very simply this. We all want to make sure that our children have better opportunities than we had. We want to make sure that they're able to surpass all of the things that we've been able to accomplish. We want to make sure that they have the things that we didn't have. And that, I think, right now is what has most people very anxious about the future, because this may be the first time in America's history when our children don't have more opportunity and don't have more paths to prosperity. And that's really what is at risk right now here in this country. I believe we've reached a tipping point, and that time is running short. The window of opportunity to put America back on the right track is narrowing. Dr. Kawa did a fantastic job tonight of explaining the numbers, because this isn't really about ideology. Where America is and where America needs to go is simply about math. When you look at the fact of 47% of Americans do not pay any federal income taxes, when you realize that 48 million Americans are currently on food stamps, when you understand that Obamacare is going to provide 40 million or more Americans with a new government entitlement program, and that now the choice between working and not working has become one where people can sit back and not work and actually receive more money. We've reached that tipping point moment in this country. And both parties, quite frankly, are to blame. But rather than pointing fingers as to how you got there, we need to talk about what's going to put America back on the right track. And I think it's important to look back through all of history and recognize that all great societies decline when freedom gives way to dependency. And that's what we've created here in America. That's the type of society that we need to get away from. I believe, like many of you do, in the spirit of the individual, not the power of the state. And that's why I think it is so important for us to recognize that this election will make such a tremendous difference about where America is 5 years from now, 25 years from now, and into the future. Because a child born today is going to live to see the 22nd century. And what type of America are we going to pass along to them? What is America going to look like in the year 2100? And so I'll close with these remarks from Ronald Reagan, and I think they're more prescient today than ever before. And he said, "Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We don't pass it to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same. Or one day, we will spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it was like to live in the United States when men were free." That's what's at stake in November of 2012. That's why you need to get involved. That's why we're asking for your support to put America back on the path to prosperity. Thank you all so much.